Hello, my name is Aaron Verinder. I'm the lead mechanic at the National Museum of the Pacific War, and welcome to another installment of Nimitz Minitz. Today, we're going to go over flats. So when you look at this particular situation, it has a safety issue to it, because when you get a flat, you could be on a highway or a byway where there's other traffic. The first thing you want to do is move to a safe location. Well, this, in combat, safe location is anywhere because no place is safe. So when we take a good look at what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the tools that are required to do this flat change. First thing I've got are my tire tools. This loosens the lug nuts, this works the jack. Our next option is the jack. We want to make sure that this jack is safe, do it through the functioning, and you want to do that on your own personal vehicle as well. But if you're on an uneven surface, you want to stow a board with your vehicle that you can put the jack on to make a safe flat surface. And then finally, we're going to utilize gloves, because what happens with tires in the heat, they get really hot. So you want to wear gloves so you don't burn yourself. Now here we go. Now we have to remove the spare from the rack and take it up to the front of the vehicle. To loosen the lug nuts, we're going to utilize this tool here. Get it on there, and it's going to be left loosening, right tightening on this rack. Now I'm done. We're taking the lug nuts off using our breaker bar and socket 13/16. Now that I got my spare, now I got to do jack placement. And how we're going to do it, we're going to find a flat surface and perform the operation of jacking the vehicle up slightly. Now that we got the jack in the safe position that's needed, we're going to put a little bit of pressure on it, and then we're going to go up front and loosen the lug nuts. Now we're going to loosen the lug nuts. What's unique about this vehicle, since it was built in 1941, they have left tightening lug nuts on the driver's side of the vehicle. The reasoning for this is because it was a safety item. As the force of the wheel is going forward, the tightness towards the left allows these lug nuts to self-tighten instead of loosening. So that was a safety measure so the wheels wouldn't fall off. But in the future, they went to right tightening as technology advanced, and there was no longer needed to have left tightening on the driver's side of the vehicle. So I'm going to demonstrate on how to remove it using the tire tool. Instead of going right to tighten, you go left to tighten. So now you have to go right to loosen. So I'm going right, and I'm loosening the lug nuts. And the reason why I'm loosening while the tire is still on the ground is that it gives a solid base, so you can actually loosen the lug nuts without the wheel turning. And sometimes they're tight. And the reason why they stopped using left tightening, because sometimes they would tighten so tight you couldn't get them off. You had to cut them off. But in this situation, now we have the lug nuts off. Now it's time to remove the flat tire and replace it with the good spare. It's always good, if you have time, to clean away any excess dirt that has built up on these lugs. Then line the lugs up. Now I'm going to place the tire back on the hub. Just like that. Now it's time to loosely apply the lug nuts in a left tightening motion, which is counterclockwise. Now I'm going to use the tire tool to lightly tighten the lug nuts onto the rim. Now that I have them snug onto the rim, I'm going to lower the vehicle down slowly so we can get it on the ground to tighten the lugs finally. Now I'm going to do the final step, which is to tighten the lug nuts while the vehicle's on the ground. Remember, it's left tightening. You're going to do it in a star pattern, doing each one snug. In the real world, you want to use a torque wrench and utilize it to 100 foot-pounds of torque, or 90 depending on what your manual says. But here, the combat situation, what we call the calibrated elbow. So I think they're at 100 PSI, but pounds per square inch, but we'll see. Now we're going to check the PSI on the tire before we take off. We are at the desired 30 PSI that is required for this vehicle. Now I'm going to put the spare tire in the back of the vehicle and go and take it to the shop to get it repaired. Now that we have completed our tire swap, you can do it too. So check in with us next time on Nimitz Minitz.